Hello, everyone. It has been a while. Welcome back to another episode of Dies to Hitstep.
What up?
Hello.
So, yeah, we got some interesting topics today. Um, and also, I've been away for a while. Not like traveling or anything, but I just haven't been super active. That's going to change. You're probably going to see a lot more of me in September, finally. But mainly
Looking
just
forward to it.
yeah, just life stuff
Yep.
and getting more busy with work because like a third of our staff quit. So
That'll do it.
your boy's working like every
Oh.
day. And if you hear any loud screaming in the background, that's just my cousin playing the finals. Ignore him. All right. So
Okay.
let's hop into this. Mickle numbers. So what was the
Let's
first one
start
we were
with
gonna
the
talk about?
Japan offline event
Yes,
first.
numbers went to
Numbers.
Japan.
Yeah. It went very well. Very. I. How to put this? I feel like I'm just not gonna be able to describe it as well as I really should be able to, but I'm absolutely looking forward to doing it more. I don't learned good many things. It's also really good to see their faces. I'm not very good at the practice
You're
type of
good.
speaking. I need to do
How'd
ask me
the
questions.
how'd the tournament go?
Well, I don't think there was like intentionally supposed to be a tournament, but it was like there was just enough people, so we just did a best of three single elimination. Best, yeah, and got fourth. Well, I lost in semis because it was Yuki versus me. But
Very
before
hard
that, we
draw.
played yeah, we were very close. I'd say we were evenly matched in the setting,
It was a
and
close set.
yeah. But more importantly, there was a best of 19. Well, there's a best of 19. Well, first to 10. I kind of probably pushed it to first to 10, and I won one over with a
Nice.
very
That's very
strong.
impressive.
Mm.
Yuki is no easy opponent to fight.
Yeah.
Is
It's
he as
like
stressful to fight offline? I'm assuming he still just hits you when you die.
yeah. That reminds me of like last session, or like day before yesterday from this recording, where you get hit by weapon one and then they top deck full combo. It's like they actually just burn all 8 cards. But it's very
Oh, I hit a
hard.
deck dump in my one of my sets against Luna. I got a shield break into full deck dump on Violet.
Yeah, saw that. There was also a very disgusting combo at the start of that game too, where it's like you literally comboed him in your field.
Oh, the Vario one. It
Wait. Was I? It could have.
was against
That might
Varia.
be
I'll have to
Celestine
grab
match.
the clip.
Hmm.
But so Windfall
But
can
no, you're
see.
playing
But yeah.
VO. That's
Yeah, it was against Varia. I remember. It was right at the start of Grands. Or I mean of winners finals.
hmm.
But yeah, I'm glad
Thinking back at
I'm glad the tourney went well.
Yes.
How was
well,
how
just the
was how was
session in
just the
general.
general gaming?
Yeah, that's what I meant, like the general gaming. It really hear me.
Oh,
If I
yeah, your
fucking
mic was
You
unplugged
cut.
back it. Um. So yeah, fuck, I'm not prepared for this.
you're
Um.
fine.
Yeah. Hmm. First and 19 had me thinking a lot of things, but also was very hype. I
How
think
how did
what interested me
yeah,
the
go
most
for
is
it.
that like I thought it wouldn't be helped so much by lag, but without lag, it's actually the game's a lot. There's a lot more things I can do. Like when they cast World, they're fucking dead if I have like Thunder Earthquake in hand. That's something that they usually get away with. That I can't like punish in time, but
You could
without the
do it
lag,
fine
it's
But
really
offline.
it is
That's
yeah.
interesting. Windfall, by the way,
Only
that
thing like
combo I just sent was the one we were talking about.
oh,
I'm
so it
looking
was
at it
right.
now. Let's
God,
see.
that's disgusting.
Let's see what's going on. Oh,
um,
did I miss? Well, it must have been at the start.
it's good to know that like
Oh my god.
in the fabled perfect setting, we
Jesus.
are effectively evenly matched. Yuki does
That's
normally beat me in other
off or
sets.
online. That's interesting. I'm glad to hear you did very well.
Mm,
Offline duelist sounds like a magical experience.
Man, I want to fight Japan
sure
like
is.
offline
Me too,
so
dude.
bad,
Oh,
but
They're
I'm stuck
you
playing
for
on that
sure.
freaking
they're so
200
cool.
ping.
The absolute peak of Japan is so impressive to me. I'm a very big fan of both of those players between Yuki and Kishi.
I still have never fought
Mm,
Kishi. I fought Yuki twice on
get it
Kishi
all
play
at that
Kishi's just
too.
very fundamentally strong, very forcing in his gameplay. Um, is very easy to describe how he plays. He just snipes you, and then you take 50.
Yeah, that's how that was. Yeah.
I'm trying to
It's
like look back at the
don't
footage, like how does he do this?
I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. I don't know how he does it. It just happens. You just get hit by some random like he just raw lassos you in neutral or something weird, and then you die.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Because
how it
it's
goes.
like if this clearly seems to work, which at that point means like
It's a skill
what does
thing.
this
He's just
mean
that
for like
good.
deck building? Like you could run like does it mean
I
like you
think it's
can?
exclusive to him. If I'm being honest,
But
at least for the
it's like it's not
moment.
just him. It's like Kishi too, and by extension Olga. But it's like at that point, it's like maybe you can beat camping with just raw skill. But
I
I
don't know. I think
really
it's a
don't
little
know
bit
about that
Oh,
much.
one.
I'm
Yeah.
a little. Yes, you can kind of like to snipe like that. You kind of have to anticipate like correctly. Like there'll be
I think it
times where I'm
requires
trying
a
to like
level of
snipe someone's
outplay.
back row terrible, and I'll purposely juke them to make them think I'm going to like shoot somewhere.
Hmm.
Then they move out of the way because
So you
like
can get the explosion.
yeah. So then
Yeah,
I get the explosion, and like I'll literally like play mind games with them just to get the
it's
explosion
great.
off and trap them.
Mm.
Um, I guess was there anything else you wanted to go over with your Japan part, or did you want to get straight into
Um,
the big one and with Exodus?
I feel like there should be more. You didn't get a chance to try mods with people except for like one time.
Mm,
That's all right. They're just also like it's just really good to hang out with people,
that's fair.
even with the language barrier.
Speaking of the Japan event, I did watch a lot of it. I'm so glad Kishi won. I wanted you or him to
Mm,
win. Um,
yeah.
Kishi is one of my favorite players. I love how he approaches this game. But yeah, I guess we can move on to the big one. Exodus was recent. Exodus
Mm.
3 finally happened.
If there's anything about Japan that comes to mind again, I'll let you guys know.
Cool. Yeah, numbers. If you want to go over, well, I guess we can go over the general stuff. Shulik showed up. It was so cool seeing him show up again for another
Mm,
big tourney. I'm so glad he did well. We grinded for like 4 hours the night before, and it was one of the best sessions I've had with this game in so long. So I'm glad to see him top 8.
Yeah.
Numbers. How'd your tournament go overall?
I think I did a good showing, and that's all that matters. I did realize the prize money at the end, but that's really not important.
I don't think there was too much outside of top 2. Are you happy
There
with
was good.
generally how you performed?
Yeah, I'm very happy. Games against games against Varya as well, and then Blitz, and then I even like the game versus Looney. Although I feel like I should have played practice Gunner a lot more, but I felt like it was the
That's
right decision
fair.
to pick Gunner.
Yeah, seeing the gunner was neat. I'm it was fun. Did you want to go over any parts of your run or anything in specific?
Yeah, so hmm, I feel like Varya and I are like really even. It's so
In the
close to
head to
game
head?
five. It's
Yeah.
so close, but it's like
He
man,
just makes you die.
the thing is like it's alarmingly simple to punish into step plants crossfire,
Mhm.
and
It's
and
crazy.
that's like more damage than my deck put together, just about the same. And then I do recall like really strong reads. Like I just landed raw fadeaways against everybody.
Yeah, that's one of the things I was talking about in the chat. People don't give you credit for how much damage you squeeze out of that deck.
Mm.
People
There's
treat it like a
also
low damage deck, and I'm like, I don't know if we're watching the same stuff, but numbers tends to kill people.
there is a lot of damage I do, but it's also worth mentioning that a lot of the damage that I prevent,
That's fair, yeah.
breaking cracking tiles, and then
Hmm.
shatter shift and fade away, essentially being able to trade combo starters.
It's really
That is
cool the way you use it.
I think people should use it more, especially those that aren't very happy with step auto. I'm surprised it has not come up much.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
So actually, I do want to kind of talk about the bracket for like top 8 a bit.
Um,
Because
I was gonna actually before that just go over my personal run with it.
oh yes, go over that and
Yeah.
then we'll
You're
get into
fine
the
with that.
bracket.
So I think my round one, so I was streaming the whole thing on my Twitch. My round one, I was against Hannah. Um, and I went Violet. I did Violet things and I just ended up kind of winning that. Um, after that, I played Abs, who has been getting very, very, very good recently. He's been really leveling up, especially on his Celicy. Um,
Mm.
and he's who I was practicing with to prepare for Varia a lot. So the fact that he was my second opponent, we were both kind of disappointed by that. I didn't want to have to fight him so early, and I'm sure he wasn't exactly a fan of having to fight me. Um, so I went terrible and I took game one, but he got game two off my root terrible. So I actually switched to Dreadworm, who I've been playing a ton recently and practicing. I won one of the quadrates over Varia with Rocket Dreadworm. So I've really been putting a lot of time working into her. And I end up closing it out 3-1 against Abs using a bit of a campy Dreadworm deck. Have you seen it yet, Windfall? I hate interacting.
A
The
little.
goat.
I think I've only seen like a clip of the rocket deck.
It looks
Oh,
very
I
Gunner
saw a bit
X
of that one.
flavored.
That's the one you took it to Exodus and
Yeah.
The only the
fought
only thing that
Varia
makes it
with,
not
right?
Gunner X is Fire Breath instead of Kunai.
I guess
That's like the only
Snowfall
thing.
Paragon stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, that
My
one
round
feels like a little
three
interesting.
actually numbers. My round three was against you.
Yeah, this is also why I didn't feel very confident picking Terra versus Vio. There was a chance that maybe the Mentos might have made Terra a better choice, but it was like I got 3-0'd by you, and it was like I don't really want to.
That's
I don't
fair.
really want to repeat this match up and see
I
the
think
same outcome.
I think that was probably the best I've ever played that matchup, at least against you.
Possibly.
I played it
I also
very,
think like
very.
I definitely like mixed buttons. Like instead of fade away personalized, I did like personalized fade away and just like with both.
Mm,
It was like I definitely could have played better. I was not
yeah,
ready
that's
to face
fair.
you so early.
No, exact. That's fair. That's not an easy draw so early in the tournament.
It is like
Um,
5 a.m. by the time we were dueling.
after that, so I won that, and my round four was Shuix, who I've. This was the first time I've actually beat him in the Violet Ditto, in terms of bracket, because we just never ended up playing it much. Because either he was way better than me and beat me in it, or I counterpicked him and we went like even. But we got to play that on stream, which was so nice. It was a really fun set. But I ended up closing that one out as well. So that means it was just me and Varia who were 4-0 in Swiss. So round 5 of Swiss, we both are guaranteed to be the top 2 placers in Swiss. But so our set doesn't really matter at that point because we're both making top 8 regardless. But we ended up running it, taking it seriously anyways. I went up 2-0 with I went all Violet for it. I went up 2-0 and then got reverse swept in a last hit set because Varia is just insane at this game. um, and then we actually do get to the top 8. I ended up fighting Shoal, as my first opponent in top 8. And I was very concerned about him. He was one of the main people. It was him and Varia that going in I was really worried about. But I ended up winning pretty solidly 3-1 with Violet actually and Vio Gunner, which is a matchup I've historically really disliked. But with the new variant of the deck I've been running, it's really been helping against those more passive and back row heavy play styles. So I'm very glad I was able to put that together and beat him. Then winners semis, it was me and Luna. And I picked Violet and just kind of beat her in the Ditto. I got so many clips from that session. I ended up winning that one 3-0. I actually
You're in the
3-0'd
psyche.
every Vio Ditto I played that tourney. After that, I get up into Varia. I went Violet for the first game and lost, and then switched to Terrible. I think I went Vio the first 2.
Yeah,
And
Terrible
switched to
was for the
Terrible for the
third
last
game.
one. But he ended up 3-0ing me. He's so good, but we'll talk about that. I fought Luna again in losers finals and 3-0'd her again. And then I went back into Varia in grands. And I switched to Dreadworm, which I'd really been practicing primarily for Celicy. I ended up hitting some really sick clips. I played it really well and ended up winning set 1 of Grands 3-0. But we sit for like a minute on the screen after that, and we both kind of recollect ourselves. Varia made some major adaptations and stopped challenging my scarier hands, started baiting me into burning spells in ways that kind of let him make progress effectively. And he ended up 3-0ing me in the reset. So congrats to Varia on winning Exodus. Phenomenal player. I'm glad to see him win, especially taking a big tournament over me. I'm glad it was him that won if it wasn't me. But yeah, that's kind of how my tournament went. I'm glad with how I performed. I think I put up a good showing. I played it really well. Varia just was better that day. Windfall, you had mentioned wanting to go over the top 8 bracket.
Yes. So, the top 8 bracket was Varia, Val, numbers Kogakiwi, Mickle, Sholmina, Lunas, and Show. And they didn't show the characters, but was Luna's Show a Ditto?
It was a Violet Ditto.
And Lunas won
Yeah.
the Violet. That's incredible.
For context, they had played in pools actually in Swiss, and Shuix won it there. He won the Ditto there, game 5.
But yeah, I was
Game
at
five was
work and I
good.
was looking at the bracket. I'm just like, wow, Lunas beat Show, and then I was like,
Luna's
I
been
thought about it a
getting
little bit more, and I'm like, nah, that's not that surprising anymore.
Luna's just been getting crazy.
Luna's like, yeah, no, Luna's leveled up. Like, before that would have surprised me, but like, I have been paying attention to how much better Lunas has been getting, and I'm just like, no, that checks out actually.
She's really,
That
really,
is
really good
something
at
that
just
will,
shutting down
yeah,
offense that isn't
Lunas.
perfect.
That is something that they're definitely capable of. So it's interesting seeing like players that couldn't quite compete with top level before now at that point, It's always
Yeah,
nice to
it's
see
really
that.
cool.
Especially and then, also, seeing Val make top 8 as well. And then
I know they were really happy
Val
about it.
taking Coca out of bracket as well. Like that's incredibly
That's
impressive.
impressive. I'm proud of how good Val did. How good they've been getting.
Yeah.
All right, and then let's see what other interesting bits were there. So Sholmina took out Show. Sholmina has had a lot of losses against Show in bracket, I believe.
A very, very long and storied rivalry.
Yes. So that was also really cool to see. And then numbers, I believe you've had a good amount of losses against Sholmina in bracket as well.
Yeah.
From the past. So then you taking out Shoal was also like something really interesting to see.
Mm.
I was really hyped about that one.
But yeah, just lots of very interesting things happening in this bracket. And then Varia just kind of going ham and then getting the Grand's winner's side. But getting reset though.
I got the reset. I didn't go down without a fight.
Yeah. Mickle,
Yeah.
Mickle putting up a pretty good fight. But what is this
He's-
winner's finals though? 3-0, 3-0, 3-0.
Literally, it. Do you know how insane it was having to play 4 sets against Varia in the same tournament? That is so stressful, dude. And he's playing to
Yeah.
just run you down, Celicy.
But yeah, this is definitely a very interesting top 8, and honestly, interesting is good, you know?
I'm glad, yeah.
There are some new names that we're seeing in this top 8 despite, like some other players that you would regularly see in top 8 in events like this actually not getting in this time, and then you'll see people who usually don't get into top 8 making it and then performing, well in top 8 as well,
Yes.
not just immediately going out, not getting any wins.
Val having a very notably big run.
Oh well, yes, Val had a very big run indeed. Which I know that I believe like in the past, I know that Val had like some issues with like entering tournaments, just like a mental thing,
Mm-hmm.
which I obviously am very well aware
Familiar
of
with.
and have experienced myself. So it's really nice to see her enter and then actually like go off, right?
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's
Like
nice to
this
see
is
more
why you
Maple
should
too.
enter. Like, yes, this is why you should enter. Just like you want to show things off, right? And you have to prove it, and you proved it. There it is. That is what I
Yes,
call excellent placement.
indeed. Top 5 at Exodus is pretty crazy.
Yeah, and it's a stacked Exodus too. It's not just like, oh,
It's not
barely
some
anyone
easy
showed up,
tourney.
right? It's like, no, no, this is a stacked event. Like a bunch of people that are cracked at this game showed up, and then you still got top 5, which is like absurd. That's crazy good.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Were there any
yeah,
other stuff you want
definitely.
to mention from top 8?
Sorry, who was that?
Were there any other sets in that top 8 that you had wanted to mention or go over?
Um, I don't think so. I don't think there was anything that like shocked me like too much. I believe.
Mm.
It was cool. I had a really good time. Thank you again, Goose, for hosting, of course, as
Goose
always.
the goat.
Thank you.
I
And then
will be
oh
back,
yes.
Mark.
Also
Mhm.
another thing we can quickly go over for Exodus is the characters.
I
There's a
don't know
lot
if we
of
have to
more
talk
VO than I
about
expected. I'm not gonna lie.
we don't have to. My
Like
humble
how many
load here.
VOs was that in top 8? That was like 3.
Okay, 3, and they put us all on the same side of the bracket.
So
Yeah,
that
that's true.
yeah, that's definitely very interesting considering like they're definitely like kind of around when I stopped playing. It's like VO was not that popular. I don't know what happened while I was going.
Snowfall happened.
But
Snowfall is
Was
what
it really
happened.
just snowfall? But I guess it makes
That
sense.
was
There's
the
a lot
big
of cards
one.
that extend to and from thunder and hailstone, and that's all you. And the more cards you have that like that, the more
and I
you
also
do
want to
stuff like this. Yes.
I
Yes.
also just want to highlight the lack of queen.
Was
No
there a queen
queens
in
in
the tourney?
sight.
I
Like,
don't think playing summons makes any sense here in
Yeah,
this kind of
no,
meta.
like there's no way a queen player would survive this top 8 with
dude, I don't like. I
three
don't.
VOs.
I just don't understand what the character's supposed to do nowadays.
It's like
Like,
look at all the setup I'm doing while the opponent is getting the trying to kind of damage I'm trying to achieve for none of the setup
it's
whatsoever.
really tragic because you managed to make her, you forced her into working when she realistically already wasn't great with the Snowfall deck. And
Mm.
then it got nerfed, and then it got nerfed, and then it got nerfed, and she's just such a sad character nowadays, where she doesn't really have a ton of viable play styles. Because pretty much all the character does now is throw out structures and hope you don't have the tools to deal with it.
I feel like that's kind of what she's been doing the whole time. It's just like there's just
Well,
not a win con from her for her anymore because
yeah, that's
Frost
the
is a
thing.
very
Because
dead
before she
package.
did have a win con, so it wasn't
And
just
it wasn't
doing that.
combo. It wasn't combo at all.
But yeah,
It was stacking and scaling,
this-
and now she just
this
Ooh.
top 8 is just like a death sentence for a Queen player because you have 3 Violettes and then a Celsi. Like
Yep.
if a Queen player could come out on top of
not to
that
mention
top 8,
Maple,
like
who I
they're actually the god of this game because that crap looks impossible. It's like
I mean, I
having
don't
top
think-
8 is a freaking terrible matchup for you.
indeed.
Even for Terra and Hazel matchups, it's still rough. Because
Literally-
it's
Actually,
actually,
just
no.
fine into Hazel.
There's
Because
Maple
it's like,
too.
Terra's also a separate
Maple as
character,
well.
but yeah,
There's Maple too. Queen also has a bad history against.
That one's rough.
Literally, the entirety of
Maple's
top
stands
8
up
is a bet is like either even or bad. Like most of top 8 is bad for Queen, and then, I think literally like Hazel's the only one that's good.
Yeah,
even then
pretty
it's like
much.
she does more damage. She definitely deals more damage than you.
Yeah, but Queen has a lot of neutral stuff that's really good against Hazel. It's like one of her. It's probably Queen's best relevant matchup, if we're being real.
But like, yeah,
Possible.
that's it. There's freaking like one decent matchup for Queen, and that's top
What a
8.
sad
Everything
character.
else is a losing battle, pretty much. Just due to the
No
fact that they all have
terrible,
tools that have
actually.
allowed them to
Well, I mean, like,
get
there is
around
one.
chess piece throughout the history of the game.
Mm.
The lack of terrible is definitely something.
Oh yeah, there
It's
was
surprising, but at the same time,
like
like none of us really main her that much.
I mean, I kind of do.
Yeah,
so-
but I think you're like the only one.
Yeah. I was playing a lot of Violet in the warm ups, and I was really enjoying her. And I think it was a good choice to stick with mostly Vio. I think I was playing at a level where she was a very good pick for me. I was playing at a very fast pace, and with the recent meta changes with how she's been building, some slight changes, but changes nonetheless. I think the current deck I'm running on her really helped, but it just wasn't enough for Vari. I don't know if Violet can do it against that level of Celicy without some like major changes.
Anyway, speaking of Arya, I think we should get into our next bit.
Varia Glaze session.
The Varia Glaze.
We're still going.
Why is Varia?
Oh,
so
it
good at
hasn't
this
even
game?
begun. Dude, I don't know, dude. He's ridiculous.
It's like, remember when we thought Celicy was like bad?
He single-handedly pulled that
I felt like
character.
agency always like kept her relevant. I feel like a room for agency always kept her relevant. It's not a matchup
agree.
you can ignore.
But the issue is back before, like the Celicy players weren't they either weren't hitting hard enough reliably, or they weren't creative enough with finding their hits to make her neutral feel threatening enough. So it's like, yeah, she has agency, but it's not worth all the humongous weaknesses she has. And Varia has just completely flipped that on its head by making her so unbelievably good at just outputting high amounts of damage consistently.
Yeah, because
She's finding hits or finding chip no matter what, very, very frequently.
like that's the thing is that like Varia doesn't let Celicy's weakness shut down his game plan, right? Like Varia
no.
literally takes Celicy's
just for
weakness
the-
and it's just like, okay, I'm just gonna accept the fact that I'm gonna get hit and then deal with it, right? And then win the mana game
I'm gonna get
by
hit,
getting
but you're gonna
refinement
get hit even more.
constantly. Right?
What would you say is Celicy's weakness for?
She has
For
to
the
eat so many
listeners.
hits to get in versus so many of the relevant cast. Like, she has to, every time she approaches, she's taking a risk on getting hit.
Yes.
Every time she engages. She doesn't have, like, safe engage tools generally, like a lot of other characters do.
But the trick is that like even if you hit Celsi while they're approaching, is that the likelihood that you're going to get like an ideal combo off of it isn't
It's
that
pretty
high.
low.
Yeah, it's not that high. So you're probably not gonna full combo them, and at the end of the day, like as long as they're not getting like obliterated by you, you're probably gonna die first.
Yeah, like
That's how the
that's
character
something
works.
Vari has mentioned. I've talked about a lot with him. Is that concept of kind of pick your battles, accept the small damage to make progress in bigger ways.
I remember his way of saying like how to deal with superior wave is just race him.
Just win the damage race, and that's what he does. And for the entire cast.
Unreactable. It's unreactable for people. Doesn't matter.
Who
That's
cares?
literally
Just
like
it's not going to do anything.
Vari is a walking example of the fact that winning the damage race is a viable strategy, and like literally, Vari is the example, the prime
Indeed.
example that is a very relevant thing. Is that you can just straight up do more damage than your opponent and win. You don't always have to have perfect defense, right?
Exactly.
In fact,
Sometimes your
it
damage
says that
can
like
carry you.
defense is not as worth it compared to offense because of like the coverage and stuff from like all the characters
The
usage.
issue is at this point in the meta, there's so many decks that you realistically can't play reliable perfect defense against. You're gonna get hit. And there's nothing you can do about it. Like it just happens. So it's why pure defense is a little bit weaker now than it used to be. And I think
What changed? Kind of nothing changed.
Snowfall. It's Snowfall.
Except for Snowfall.
Well,
But
I think it's very easy to kind of point out what changed because, I mean, let's think about like Duels of Eden like a year ago versus now. It's just like we have way stronger off angles that are seeing consistent play, and not to mention that they also just got straight up buffed. Like Whiplash now exists, that got mega buffed. Snowfall got mega buffed, right?
Yes.
And then
Snowfall got
Paragon
mega
is
buffed.
not nerfed, and then people just kind of started playing it more.
I still think like Paragon's ridiculous, dude.
And these are like low
Thing is-
commitment off angles. It's not like auto slash, which requires you
no. It's you just
risk getting hit.
press it, and it's like, well, okay.
Yeah, So these are like pretty much zero commitment off angles, and it makes it pretty difficult to play perfect defense against that. Because obviously you want to attack, but attacking requires you to position a certain way that can easily be
Puts you
punished
in prime
by
range
low risk
for-
off angles. Like Snowfall, it's like I can sit in the back now and throw it out, and it's just like, oh, my opponent needs to come up front to hit me or to do something. Well, I can just sit back now and then cast Snowfall. Or if I think my opponent is scared and they want to back up, well, guess what?
Snowfall.
Column denial. Column denial is very strong.
So something I didn't realize how active Snowfall is.
It's
Did
8,
you know
isn't it?
it has
They
more
didn't nerf
active
it, right?
frames? It's 8 active
Than
frames.
Paragon.
It has more active frames than Paragon.
They didn't nerf, right? I forgot. They didn't nerf
Which
this
is
shit, did they? It's still like the
insane to me.
media's hit. It's like as media as recards. Yep, it's activate. Yeah, of course. I should have expected nobody to notice that one during PPE.
It's great. We gotta. So I think the combination of a lot of decks running Paragon and Snowfall now, has really helped against the
I
more
don't think it
campy
really
chippy
helps.
playstyle.
I don't think it is necessarily anti-camp. It's more like, well, I mean,
I
like it
think
is
it
anti-camp,
is.
but it's more like you're now it's like punishing people is a lot easier.
So I think the big thing is before Paragon wasn't enough because you'd still get damage raised. You'd just lose the damage raise if Paragon was your only like back row chip, your only anti-camp.
And
Even though Paragon was very
Paragon
good
step
at it.
auto.
But now Snowfall being mixed in with it is just it kind of reached critical mass where it's a viable win condition type deal now. Especially if you're already running step auto. Running step auto Snowfall Paragon altogether, you just they cannot hold you back. Like you're going to kill them eventually. I think the other thing Snowfall's really helped with is being able to run that on Violet and stuff has, with the specific build I've put together recently on her, has allowed you to properly run Paragon on her. Because one of the biggest issues with Violet deck building historically has been she doesn't have enough like splashable area denial, splashable coverage like that. Um, and being able to fit Paragon in has been
I
something
mean, like,
Violet players have been struggling with since the
like
dawn
she
of time.
does. It's just like there's not they just cost 2 mana.
No, she doesn't. She the thing is she hasn't historically had good ways to route with Paragon. Um,
Well,
Paragon is
you mean
gap
from?
one. What?
Wait, sorry, I'm interrupting you.
Yeah, Paragon has historically been something she has not been able to route for very well. Like it bricks a lot of combos. It doesn't work properly with most of her combos. But with now that she's running two frost cards, it's set up a lot more situations where you can get frost proc into walk Paragon and continue the combo. And now that she has another way to combo with dark grasp off angle stuff with Snowfall, she's just been able to fit Paragon into her kit more reliably. So now she can run Paragon and keep her big damage combos, which before you kind of had to choose one or the other. And I think that's definitely improved her place in the meta a little bit. I think it helped solve one of her biggest weaknesses of how bad she was against hard camping and shipping. Um,
Yeah.
Fortunately, I do think I think she's hard. I think she's really hard right now, actually, with how you have to properly manage which hands you decide to play. Because if you sit too long, you're still damage racing people at times. And if you sit too long on the wrong hand, you're just going to get chipped out. It's not going to be a good time. So she requires some pretty fast play gameplay and very a lot of on the spot thinking of which hands you want to play with. Plus her routing isn't exactly easy, but I think she's in the best place she's been in meta wise since like probably near release, which is really nice to see. I'm really happy with where she's at right now with the recent developments with all that.
Hmm. It's just strange to me because it's just like Snowfall and Paragon is just like another card. It's just another card you read on neutral, but I guess it's like just a second copy of Hailstone is all it took.
It's not hailstone. It's the snowfall part of it.
No,
It's the
I know. I'm
fact
talking
that
about Snowfall. It's like is a second copy of Hailstone all that was needed?
no, because it's more the Paragon type aspect of it than the hailstone type aspect of it that's really good.
Well, it's both in
Um,
that case, but yeah.
yeah, I more so mean the like neutral implications are very very important. Um, because the big thing about Paragon is like you can't just raw movement avoid it reliably. It's not reliable. You're
No,
going
it's
to
not.
probably get hit.
Unlike Step Slash and Auto Slash, Snowfall and Paragon are just straight up unreactable.
Yeah, you're just going to get hit by it unless you shield it pretty much or just get
No,
lucky
even
and don't
Shield is a
walk
read.
into it. Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Like you have to play the defense game against it pretty much and your options are fairly limited. And adding Snowfall to the mix has accelerated how that game plan kind of makes progress and
Mm.
is very very relevant now. I like that duo is I've been running it on my newer build of Terrible. I've been running it on my Dread deck. I've been running it on Violet. It's I'm just throwing it, obviously it's what pushed Gunner into his meta spot. I think that specific duo is kind of very important for modern deck building that you need to consider it at least.
Mm.
Windfall, I know you've been a little bit away recently. So what do you think of seeing the rise of that kind of package in a lot of decks, specifically with Violet?
Well, I mean, Violet running that doesn't really surprise me at all, considering Snowfall just adds a lot to her game plan. It's back row denial that she can use while she's
Mm-hmm.
in the front row, and that's kind of always that's one of her weaker areas is trying to deal with you when you're kind of just sitting back. Um,
Yes.
so that definitely helps with that, and then not to mention that she can combo into it as well. And then it's also since it's something that combos in the back, that means any Violet combo can it basically extend off of it because that's where you might be at the end of it, right?
Yes.
Um, but seeing this core, like I said, just when you make strong off angles like that, it's obviously just going to it's gonna be strong, right? Just like the same reason why Paragon is strong. It's non-committal off angle, and Snowfall is even 1 mana, right?
Yeah,
It's
which is
literally one.
ridiculous.
So any character that can benefit heavily from running it would obviously want to do so. It's kind of like how I think probably characters that maybe don't benefit as much might not have a reason to run it, but any character that does benefit is gonna like benefit like heavily from running. It's like kind of how like double team back in the day. Just like why wouldn't you run double team if you can run it, right?
If you can run double team, you should run double team.
Yes, that's kind of how this is. Probably is like if you can run Snowfall, why are you not running Snowfall?
I agree fully. I think it's a really good spell.
I remember being talking about this with someone else. I can't remember the name, but it was like the way you use Snowfall and Paragon is kind of like how you have like hand traps in Yu-Gi-Oh. It's like it adds a lot of depth for sure, but in this like it's interaction that's very important, but it can potentially there's a pattern to it that is not necessarily the most appealing.
I think that's a fair assessment.
It's like it's almost overly generic. I don't
I
know
think
if
that's
that
fair.
assessment
No,
makes
I
sense, but it's
understand
like
what you're saying. I
mm,
think that's a fair assessment. I think seeing that package, it's very, very splashable right now. And given there are only so many cards that synergize with them, it makes a lot of
it's
other
also
stuff become a little samey, given how strong they are. That you really
it's
want
not
to be
just
running
strong,
them.
it's that they're the only ones that really like it. So it's like it becomes like for example, Windfall, you play Yu-Gi-Oh, yeah?
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah. It's like why would you not run Ash Blossom like everything
You're not running Ash.
in
Kind of
like
throw it.
Ash Blossom well Ash Blossom Max C.
It's like have fun getting Maxi. That's what happens when you don't run Ash.
Yeah. It's kind of that. It's just like yes, it's good for the game. It does a lot, but at the same time it can be potentially somewhat generic as like a replay in terms of replay
I think
value.
that's fair because like you don't run those cards, and then it's like, well, I'm gonna get back row camp by Gunner the entire time. GG's, have fun. Um, but then if you do run them, it does feel a little samey at a point when you're
You
putting the
think that?
same
But
package in every single deck.
I think I think
Mm.
Ash maybe like Ash is a bit extreme though, because like Ash is a very big problem in the game. That's the solution to another very big problem in the game. um,
Yeah.
like it has to
It's
be
also
there
like
due to a
you
bigger
pair this a
problem
step slash
existing.
auto slash, and it's like you have like essentially generic pull. It's like why? It's like you'd think that like Paragon Snowfall being anti cam would mean like you didn't have to run step auto, but no, we just fuse them into one deck, and
Just run
there
them
we
both.
go. Yeah, I guess that's where they talked about like how it was kind of like hand trap meta, where it's just like you put good stuff on good stuff. It's like, can you really? Why would you cook otherwise?
Yeah, no, that's fair. I'm definitely in agreement with that. I think this specific Violet deck is just a good example of how much of a difference Snowfall can make. How much of a difference
Mm.
that Snowfall Paragon core can make.
I don't
Because it kind
know
of
if
forces
nerfing
you
the
to have to
damage would do anything.
of Snowfall.
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't. I wouldn't complain regardless, but we're well past balance patches at this point.
Yeah.
I think it's tragic
I
that
mean, like,
Snowfall ended up.
I don't really mind this meta where Celsi and VO could be mainstream because it's like you're not carried for playing
No,
either
they're
of these
very cool.
characters at all.
They're good
So it's
characters
like,
to be meta.
and it's like if
I'm
you're
not gonna
having any
complain
meta
about
at all,
them.
it's one where you are rewarded for being the better player, and I take that any day over like what it
I
could be
very
otherwise.
much agree.
Gunner meta, terrible meta.
I don't want to see a gunner meta. A gunner meta is the
Oh
worst
no.
thing for this
Well,
game. Oh
God
my.
forbid Raven meta is it's like yeah, I don't mind these two being considered the strongest. I don't know if you guys could consider Via the strongest, but I think
I wouldn't.
she would be the strongest if it's like everyone was at that top level.
I don't even know if I
I don't
agree.
know.
I
Actually, I don't
think
know because it's like just Celsi.
I
That's so
think the issue
weird.
is Violet still has a lot of bad matchups. Like even with this level of play, like
I mean, like all
uh,
you just need to do is pinpoint that one moment, and that's all you need.
I think
I
having
don't
to
know how
if
realistic
your
it is,
character has to rely on you making consistent active outplays, that means you have to be better than your opponent to be able to win, and you're not going to be able to reliably do anything, even if you're even skill usually, unless you just happen to have a very favorable matchup, and that causes issues when there are so many other characters that you can just beat people at your skill level very reliably because your character's a lot more forcing. Violet doesn't really have that as much, which stops her from being what I would consider even a high tier. Because regardless, she still struggles a lot into Gunner. I think she's not having a
Ah,
pleasant time against
that's
Dreadworm.
yeah.
Um, I don't like fighting her into like a lot of characters actually. Celicy being a very big one now, with how Varia's been playing it. I was actually talking to Varia about it, and we seem to have a very similar opinion on the matchup. And that I think if the Celsius playing sloppy, like yeah, I can find big hits. But if the Celsi isn't giving me those openings, I just kind of get ran over. There's not a ton of room Violet has to really mess with stuff.
Mm.
That's the funny thing about Terrible.
Now I feel kind of weird that I
Terrible
get
could
headed off
definitely fight
because
Celicy.
I built in like prevention against this kind of shit.
What was it you had said, Windfall?
That's the funny thing about Terrible is like with Celicy and Terrible, it's just like you get hit by a dark wave.
GG's.
Darker goes into literally
LMAO.
everything. Yeah.
So it's just like that's just it's a funny matchup.
As you've said, Windfall, the vines are coming out.
Yes, and then also just the fact that Terrible's strongest strategy is also a archetype that has historically been rough for Celicy to fight against.
Indeed, she just doesn't tend to run a lot of answers for it.
Dude, honestly,
She doesn't
like,
have a mash out.
dude, how many
Yes,
times have I
that's
countered this character throughout the history of this game? Remember
It's
the
hilarious.
OG Celicy meta back in
I do.
like the day where like
Uh,
everyone was running her, like
Step Plans
Shid
was
was
a
on her, dude.
3x3.
Like, well, who were
3x3 step
the?
up.
It was Fun Guy, Shid, Lay,
Shid was the next level.
and I had to deal with all of that. That's so
I
funny because
recall.
like Gunner X was literally designed to freaking kill that crab, dude, and it did. And then Root got
It
freaking
sure
destroyed.
did. It's
And
funny.
then it
It's like
started running like projectile pile.
seeing how the different top level players have historically all dealt with steps in their own unique ways. Funny because you just throw so much at them in terms of projectiles that they're going to get hit, and you'll end up doing full combos while they're just chilling on your side of the field, getting hit by 3 projectiles in a row. It's very funny to me because most people use more like aggressive positioning around steps when fall, and you just straight hit her.
Yeah.
You don't even let the step finish. You smack her on her way over.
I'm just like, oh, you're
The way
approaching me? Hoo-hoo.
the way
What
I
was
see
it?
steps
Yeah,
nowadays is like it's like if they can't. It's something that's like kind of been like a helping hand. Is like if you're at your front row, they have to be on their back row to hit you with step slash.
very true.
That has helped a lot, and often times people won't realize that and just whiff it. It's like nice card. I hope. Well, see you in another 10 seconds.
It's very, yeah. Knowing that spacing and slipping it and stuff by getting closer is, I think, the fact that getting closer to your opponent is the best way to fight step slash is one of the reasons it's so well designed. It's so healthy for the game.
Yeah, indeed, and also it is something that's worth mentioning is that step slash is very somewhat from what I heard from another person is that it's very paradoxical for a normal for the way you deal with attacks in fighting games because normally when you to beat an attack you need to gain advantage over it, but here you are completely happy with just having it whiff and going back to neutral because unlike in other fighting games when they if they use like essentially a step slash equivalent they usually still have it because it's a
Yeah,
card game fighter. You're not
yeah,
seeing it for the next 10 seconds or so.
which is always a very relevant thing because it lets you fight back more heavily in certain ways.
And that's the neat
Mm,
thing about terrible is that if step slash whips, it's still threatening. Because
Yeah, because
dark
you
whip.
yeah,
you have your weapon 2 stuff.
indeed.
I've been I've been having problems with terrible recently. I haven't been having as good of a time as I used to with her. Varya's just I just keep getting weapon 1 debt. I'll try to like fend him off, but I guess what it is I'm spending too much mana doing the stuffing and not
I
enough
mean, like
mana
if
on the
Saffron
comboing off
was
it.
enough to, sorry, I shouldn't be
You're
interrupting
good.
you, but it's like if Saffron was enough to stop Celsie's advances, then we'd see more Saffron.
No, that's fair. You're right.
Yeah, that is a thing
Um,
that you kind
Terribles is
of have.
essentially has a worse sparkler.
That's the
what were
kind
you
of thing
saying,
you
Nolan?
have to understand about fighting Celicy is that
Mm-hmm.
it's Celicy counterplay does go pretty deep because you kind of have to know it's a balance of different defensive mechanics that you really have to try and take advantage of in order to manage your resources against this character. Because, all right, you look at whoever. I'm fighting Varia. I look at Varia's hand. Varia has a breakout in their hand, right? They don't have auto slash. They don't have step lance. Varia steps at me or W1s at me, I'm gonna shield, right? Because
Yes.
I just breakout's not gonna break my shield. Varia has auto slash or step lance in hand. Do not shield ever because you will die. That's when you have to
Exactly.
stuff the step and kind of just stall for time, which hopefully your character can do that. If they can't, have fun.
GG's.
You
Have
got
fun.
the auto slash is the bigger threat. Step lance you can kind of counterplay because there's like a you one of the places I usually like to sit at if I'm kind of scared of step lance is I
Column
sit
2.
in like column 2. Column
Yeah.
1 step lance is going to hit you, so column 2 is like the furthest you can go back without having to worry about step lance like hitting you
Just
with the
raw
front
going, yeah.
hitbox. And then from that point, Celicy has to use W1 to hit you with step lance now, and you can kind of use that to your advantage. Usually, being in the back against step lance is not that great of an idea.
Yeah,
Um,
you get caught in shield and you just GG's.
yeah, and it's also just
That's half the game right
it's better
there.
to sit there because there's not a back hitbox of step lance anymore. So Celicy can't just like step past you and then step lance like they used to be able to. Um,
I do you know how crazy it would be if Varia had that?
oh god, yeah,
I'd
that
quit.
that would be
I'd
a
be done.
that would probably make Celicy like top one if
Yeah, this game would be
Which
dead.
with her current damage that would definitely put Celicy probably top one or close to that if they had the back on the step lance because that would just make it um very difficult to avoid it and it'd kind of just be a reaction check at that point. It's like your only real counterplay to step lance at that
is
point would
dodge.
just be to just straight up react and dodge the second they
Yeah,
Which
W1,
I don't
which
think
is
is
what I
too
used to do.
reliable.
I used to have to do that. Anyone
I mean, like
watching, be happy you don't have to do that.
I used to do
Because
that
I
too.
had to do that.
It wasn't so bad, but it's like
I either had to camp,
it's annoying. It's annoying when you get hit. It's you essentially just like hope you react fast, and I don't know.
but I'm just like, I either had to freaking use traps and camp, or I had to react and dodge step lance.
Which is
Mm,
not exactly too reliable given the fact that she can delay it.
But yeah, you just have to be careful about managing your resources, and it's also like if you're running a deck that doesn't do a lot of damage, it's gonna be rough because
That's what I've
yeah.
realized I need to get a lot better at that. Because I'll keep slapping her on the wrist for approaching me when I shouldn't be
mm,
doing that. I need to focus more on waiting for my big hits. Because, okay, like, let's say she steps at me and I spend 1 mana to hit her for 2. Okay, she just got half her mana back from the counter hit because
yep.
her weapon got counter hit out of. So she spends half a mana and is probably standing up front regenerating her mana quick. And I'm standing back and just trying to chip her out. And I'm losing the mana war there every time. I may do like
Yeah,
10 damage over the course of it, but I spent half my mana bar and now she has all the time in the world to do whatever she wants.
that's why I don't do that.
It's a habit
never
I've
done
gotten
that against
into
Terra.
recently that's not
I
exactly
do that.
great.
Mm.
That I really need to get better at. Because like yes, I can hit her, but if it's not productive, why? Why am I doing it?
Mm.
Yeah,
That's something I've gotten really bad at doing with the dread because I keep wanting to hit her because I know I can weapon one her.
funny sword Gober.
Oh, it's so fun. I love Dread right now. She's some of the most fun I'm having.
Hmm. That's interesting.
She's really good, I think, actually, right now. Maybe it's helped by the fact that the structure meta isn't too popular.
Yeah, I
And that the
mean
deck I'm
that was
running
the
No,
main
that's
thing
has
holding it
definitely
back
true.
was some of our structure matchups were awful.
and that the deck I'm running right now has a lot of anti-structure cards.
Mm.
But then I do fight a Hazel and they just weapon one camp me and I'm like, oh, I get it. I get what Windfall's complaining about. This is why she's not great. I still think she's really good. But I do think that holds her back for sure.
Mm.
What's up next? I'm trying to remember. We have what was our other topics we had?
Mm.
I pretty much I think we kind
Snowfall
of
Paragon Core.
we tapped that
Turbos
already.
change your place in battle. Oh, I guess we could talk about more about characters that weren't there, Harissa and Shiso. Like, I feel like back then, like, it's like Vio hasn't changed that much. Well, I mean, she's changed quite a bit because of Snowfall, but
Um,
besides that, there's a lot of her cards are still the same. So it's like, why is that? Why
since
now in
release
that
at least,
case?
yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, I guess you
I
could
think
think
it's
about like what characters aren't there anymore. Like, Harissa isn't as strong as before. The start of eight the start of 8 melee that's 1x3 2 tells away is not very frequent anymore, and
no, not
people
at
just
all.
dropped Harissa. I feel like, and then after Harissa was
I
Perla.
mean,
Mm-hmm.
so I'll say this um, about Harissa is that I think potentially one reason that you may not see Harissa as much in this, because obviously I do want to point out specifically that there are two people who are good at Harissa that played in this bracket or that played in this tournament, right? And chose to not use her. So because Sandwich was playing, right? I think
Yes.
yes. So Sandwich was there, and Shoal was there. Neither of them decided to use Harissa, I believe, because I think Sandwich was on was on
Violet.
Vio, right?
Mm.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Going
Shaw
almost
completely
all with
traded
Violet
Harissa for
recently.
Gunner.
Yes, and then Shoal was on Gunner. So I think one immediate reason I could think of is kind of just the access to damage for Harissa is pretty high skill floor. Because, like, when you think of Harissa's doing a ton of damage, you think, like, Yuki, but Yuki's cracked.
Yeah, he just does that. That's just
Right? So,
like that's nothing about that. That's just Yuki. He just does
yes,
that. That's
Yuki
just him.
is cracked at this freaking game and can actually snipe you off W2 and then do half your health. Um,
I feel like
but
doing that
that's
is a
not,
little bit harder these
I
days.
feel like
Yeah, he
when we're
just
talking
cheats.
about how, like, kind of winning the damage race is pretty relevant right now. And considering the characters that are running are pretty good at that, you know, like Violet can definitely win the damage race against you. At least a high skilled Violet can do
She
it.
certainly makes her hits count.
Yes, and then Varya can definitely win the. I said Varya. See, Varya is Celicy. Celicy is
Yeah.
Varya. I'm just gonna start saying Varya every single time now. I
We
say
are the
Celicy. So
fighting game
yeah,
characters.
winning the damage race against Varya is also pretty important as well. So
It's pretty rough.
yeah,
He just runs you down.
so
It's
you think about it, and usually like the more neutral based decks on Harissa are not as good at winning the damage race. That's kind of the trade off that got made. Losing double team and kinetic wave. It's just like, okay, now you're either gonna have neutral or you're gonna have damage. And
Mm.
going for the damage, it now becomes the character becomes way harder to play. Way harder to play. Because
I
now
will
you have
say,
to
yeah, go for it.
it's kind of now it kind of turns I feel like into that VO situation where it's like you have to make outplays to get the hits, and that's what
Yeah,
Yuki's
it's
great
just not
at.
a consistent game plan.
Whereas kind of if you play like a consistent Harissa deck that can get a lot more hits easily. Now your combos aren't really hitting that hard anymore.
I will say, I think another reason is I think the nerfs have started to stack up on her.
Well, yeah, that's what I said. The trade off. Now there's a trade off.
Yeah.
You don't get both
There didn't
anymore.
used to be the trade-off.
Before, you'd have
Um,
crazy stupid neutral, and then you'd still do stupid damage
40.
because kinetic
Yeah.
wave double team.
So
Just increasing the startup did a lot.
there was so we recently discovered, Sandwich and we were talking to PG, and there's a way where we can actually access every post-release patch of the game. So we can go back. We actually went back
I'm
and
sorry,
played the
what?
release patch. We can play any post-release patch of Duelists.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yes.
Wait, is it the betas?
We unfortunately do not have access to the alphas. No, it's using the Steam database thing. It has every patch. You have to download it, replace the game files,
Oh,
but we
that's
have access to
huge.
all of them. It's really cool. We were playing some season 2 Perilla stuff, which is the character's
Oh,
so
so that's how
evil.
Olga. That's how Olga was messing around with season 2 Perla. I was like, how
I
do you have
suppose,
that? I
yeah.
was like, oh, so that's how.
Um,
Okay.
but we were playing some release patch, and oh my, Harissa, that character! I'm so glad she's not what she used to be. Because, like,
Mm.
dude, I forgot what it was like to have to fight that. Like, I try engaging, and I get hit by primer 15 times in a second, and it's like, well,
Primer
sure, why not?
hits.
Sure, let's just let that be a thing. Why not? Um, character also hit like I was fighting Sam. I took like 70 damage from a combo,
Oh my god.
and I'm like, dude, can we not do this right now? Can we play something else, please? The release patch was a fun time. Because I got to introduce Sandwich to some older stuff. For example, release patch had 5-hit snow cone.
Oh, fun times.
It had
Oh
broken
yeah.
it had broken diag beam.
Oh yes, Diag Beam. Look what they did to my boy. I
Well, I
started
mean,
using the spell when I got
For
freaking
for
killed.
whether I'm not sure if it's for the better game, but at least we don't have to calculate the eggs.
it's a,
I
having gone
calculated
back
the
and played
the
it.
diags, dude. I
I'm
calculated that
so
crap. I knew the patterns.
I'm so glad diag beam's bad now. Because oh my, was that a ridiculous spell. Um, it was not okay at all. So there was some stuff I didn't realize actually was changed so much. Like inverter was not functional at release.
Oh yeah, they
Um,
had to the change that fixed it was making it ignore hit step.
yeah, it didn't ignore hit step properly. So the teleports
Yeah.
were so weird. It was really interesting to see. I think one of the most fun things I had though playing release patch was it wasn't the full force of it because dark grasp didn't work the way it eventually was changed to. But I got to play my old Magic Claw Violet deck again, and it was
Oh, you
beautiful.
can do magic claw into charm. Good
You can do
times.
Magic Claw Weapon 2. You can do Magic Claw Sacrifier, Magic Claw Walk Back Dark Grasp. Anything you want, and it just works with Magic Claw. I remember people telling me when it got changed that it wasn't actually a nerf. And
Oh no,
oh
it was a
my, were
huge
they
nerf.
wrong. It lost
Yeah,
like
it's like a
like
combo shot.
I think it lost like 8 frames of advantage. And 8 frames is
I think you
an
couldn't even
absurd
do
amount.
magic claw walk back dark grasp. I think
I
it
don't
was
think it
that
can
bad.
now, no.
No, now you can.
Can you?
That
Is it?
yeah, magic claw walk back dark grasp should work now.
I
Trying
can
now
see.
actually.
It
Dark
probably is. Yeah.
testing right
Gap 0.
now.
It's gap 0 now.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's gap 0.
No, but like charm now into it is gap 5 when it used to just be true.
Yeah.
You used to be able to do a sacrifier out of it, which was crazy because you could do Magic Claw Sacrifier Dark Grasp.
Mhm. I think the only thing you could do with the really nerfed magic claw was magic claw move weapon 1. Like at that point,
Yeah.
it's just 2 Mana Thunder.
Yeah, definitely. I do miss some of the stuff from release patch, but it's crazy seeing how far this game's come. I didn't.
Mm.
There's a lot of changes I've just forgotten about over the time, you know. Like seeing SD turret was still in the game, stuff like that.
SD turret.
Oh, yeah,
What a spell!
my favorite wrench.
Yeah,
Wrench
SD
spell.
turret is my favorite Harissa combo tool, of course.
Yeah.
I remember there was a sometime like I think it was around pre-release. Shull was having a bunch of trouble against Perp, and we were doing some VOD review. And I was like, "Have you considered using SD turret here as like an off-angle confirm and combo tool? You know, has neutral implications, and it can work in your combos." And he was like, "That sounds ridiculously stupid." And we didn't end up settling on using it.
JP definitely did.
But then time goes on, and we see this brand new Harissa player from Japan cooking up some 50 plus damage Harissa combos using it, and I called it ahead of time. Yeah, I don't know. Were there any other topics y'all had? I know this was didn't last quite as long as usual, but
Maybe would have had more, but your boys got
I
work in the
feel
morning,
like there's
guys.
some things I can. I'm trying to recall some of the things that we were talking about in Japan. It's a bit difficult for me to really say anything because it was like I'm the one of the translator and talking to them through it. So it's like I can only infer so much. We can only infer so much from each other.
that's fair. I'm
Because the way I'm thinking of it is like they don't see needing to make outplays as like something that is like beyond the character. It's just like these kind of see it as like just part of the game, the minimal requirement.
so I think I think making reads is important, and it can definitely help you win and stuff. Making your outplays, being better, etc. But I think it becomes a point where if you have to make active outplays in order to get stuff done, you're playing at a disadvantage. Um, you shouldn't have to make super like hard reads. You shouldn't have to know all that to be able to
In
at
Japan, it's
least
just
play the
Tuesday.
game. I don't know. I don't agree with that deck building philosophy. I think
But
that
it's like if it's true, there's like all the things you can do in this game. Like maybe I could like put rake on Maple. Maybe it could like last long enough to innovate into like a proper C combo for once.
Well,
And
so.
then it's like
it's pros and cons.
The thing is,
You know,
Saffron is playable now.
it's like pros and cons because
Jesus.
like I said earlier, it's like you can build around that. It can work, but the consistency is important,
I
and the more you
agree.
rely on having to just straight up outplay your opponent, or at least to like a high degree. I don't mean like making like small outplays where I'm just like I have to guess which half of the field you're gonna be on to hit my spell.
Yeah, that's a
Not like
little
that.
different.
Well, more stuff just like all right, I have to guess that you're gonna be in like maybe within
This
like
tile
yeah
on
this
this
tile
on at this
at
time.
this moment, right?
I just
And
don't think
guess
it's
that, and
reliable.
then not only guess that, but guess it confidently, and be willing to follow up on that, even though like I could whiff my next spell, right? But I'm like committing, right? So it's kind of like guessing and then committing to that and making those kind of outplays, um, is difficult to do very consistently because you need to do that, like even remotely, even semi consistently at all, you need a lot of knowledge on the game because you're gonna need
Yes.
to know what your opponent's gonna be doing, which you can predict what your opponent's gonna be doing, what character they're playing, their hand that all reveals information that's gonna kind of tell you how they're gonna move.
Inform how they're playing.
Yeah, but it's just like then there adds another level of layer of mind game to that because like what if your opponent fakes you out or something like that, right? And then on top of that, you could always just guess wrong and then
That's
whiff,
cool.
right? So overall, just having to rely on those kinds of outplays is very difficult and very inconsistent usually. And
So
being consistent with that, like I said, it's just like the skill floor is absurdly high to be able to play like that against
To
other
the point
very
you're
skilled players.
yes,
Yeah.
that's where I think the big issue comes in. We're like, yes, like someone like Varia, someone like me, you, Yuki, etc. We can pick those decks and just go into like ranked and beat people up with them, or queue up and beat people
But
up with
we are
them.
just straight, but that's like not because of character. That's because of the people behind them.
Correct. But when it comes to a point where you're fighting the best defense in the world with this kind of thing, it just feels like it's not holding up the same. It feels like it's like when you're fighting people who have made it their entire goal in life to never have to get hit by what you're trying to do. It's like I don't know. It just feels a lot less effective, you know? I feel like it's a lot
Mm.
more reliable to have the reads as your backup plan, have the reads and outplays as your plan B, and have a standard kind of fighting game poke and confirm as your plan A.
Hmm. I
Because
feel like I do this on Terra, but then
regardless of how
I
good you are, having to make outplays is gambling. And like
mean,
let's go
yeah.
gambling, I get it, but at a point it's not their most reliable way to win.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's like
I feel like I do this on Terra, but it's like I have the control tools where it's like you can actually make the guess. It's
I
different.
agree.
It's different when you have like no tile denial whatsoever, which
like
is what they're running on View and Celsi.
I'd
You
say
Like I
do
like
think that
get a certain
go
kind
go
of. Let's go on.
say probably looks
you
something
go
like
first.
Yeah, it's just
like
like there's a certain kind of high you get when you weapon one and then your deck comes back and you full combo them. It is a certain kind of high. It's like
No,
when you
that's
when you
fair.
do that, and when you do that, I was like, okay, yeah, I really want to do away with the neutral tools then because look at how much better it can be.
But doesn't it get frustrating when it feels like those reads aren't showing up?
I mean,
Because
I think they're really patient on that one. There's like entire decks where shuffles where it's like they do nothing and that's fine. They don't really care. You can even like place like you can even like CC their board, prevent them from doing it. But all they just need is like that 1 millisecond of opening.
I feel like the issue with that is sometimes you just get damage raised and die.
Yeah. Maybe it's something that I
It might be a meta
yeah.
difference. It might be the
It
ping.
also
There's a
be
lot
like
that
the
could go
character.
into
It
it.
might also be the fact I'm playing Terra because it's like if I need my opponent to actively intend to do something. I play essentially defenses because
Yes.
like I need my opponent to do something. If they're in shuffle, that's the hardest time to kill them. I can't catch them while they're shuffling unless it's like they aren't paying attention to me.
Yeah, that kind of actually does make sense. What was it that you had started to say, Windfall?
all right, so like I just kind of wanted to quickly talk about like there's kind of just different layers that your game plan should have, and kind of like the outplay thing is like the it's kind of like the highest layer, right? That is like now becoming like, or at least decks that rely on that, like just on sheer outplays all the time. Um, is just having that highest layer that, and then not anything below. It's like let me start from the bottom, right? Like, so my terrible deck, right? Bottom layer, right? Is this deck the goal? Hit Entangle and kill.
Killed him.
Yeah, kill them. Do 40 damage combo. Do funny dance. Win screen, right? So that's the
Mm.
goal, right? And pretty much, you're fighting somebody. They're not that good. They're gonna walk in Entangle. They're gonna destroy it, right? All right, okay. So you fight somebody better. Um, they're aware of positioning. They are not going to walk up anymore when you have Entangle in your hand. Okay, now we're at the next layer, right? Where I'm now having to figure out how to enforce my main strategy. When my opponent will no longer just walk into it. They're not walking off a cliff anymore. um, so, right now I'm just like, okay, my opponent won't approach me because they're scared. I'm gonna use my weapon, Comet, and did I
That's
say
yeah.
it is Comet, right? Okay,
Yes,
yeah,
you're
sorry,
correct.
Mm.
Comet.
Yeah,
I'm
comments
gonna use
travel weapon one.
I'm gonna use my weapon, Comet, and that's gonna push them into my range to hit Entangle, and then I'm also gonna use Step Slash to get in range to hit Entangle. All right, cool. I'm hitting them again. They're dying. All right, that's kind of like that's a small outplay, right? But
It's not the
see how
big
it's like the
thing.
layer, the first layer you just auto win because they suck. Second layer, it's just like, okay, they're a bit better. I now have to put in slightly more effort, right, to win this game. All right, next layer up, right? My opponent is now aware of Comet, and they're taking precautions to avoid it, and they're also taking precautions to avoid step slash. They're counterplaying my step slash, right? Okay, next layer. All right, how am I going to hit them when they're not walking into entangle? They're also becoming harder to hit with Comet, and then they're also becoming harder to hit with step slash. I'm gonna add Dark Wave in there. I'm not gonna start doing step slash Dark Wave, literally just to mess with their eyes and their visuals so they can't keep track of what's going on. Add in mental stack, right? I'm now going to increase their mental stack. I'm going to use Northwind and step slash Dark Wave, right? And literally just not even really trying to sometimes hit Comet, literally just combining Comet with the other spells just to add mental stack so they will eventually mess up and then I will hit them with one of those things.
Just to enforce your basic game plan, yeah.
Yes. So see how there's kind of like there's the basic game plan, right? This is my win condition. Hit entangle, big damage, and then now there's kind of other spells in my deck that are now starting to layer on top of that to help me enforce that game plan when my opponent starts to counterplay me. And the highest layer where there's your sheer outplays, that's when I am like juking you with Comet to get you to step into the wrong row by accident.
Yeah, you do the juke to make them miss Comet.
Yes,
To
to
let the
literally make them
explosion go
miss.
off, to
They're
layer
trying
it
to
into the
shield
other
Comet,
spell.
and then I juke them to make them miss the row
Yeah.
that Comet is going to fire, and then I confirm off of that immediately because I knew it was going to happen. That is kind of the sheer. That's the layer of outplay that you don't want to be your base layer because doing that against everyone is going to exhaust the
It's
heck
just
out
not
of you.
reliable.
It's not reliable.
It's
Right?
incredibly taxing on your mental.
Yes.
It's something that requires so many layers beforehand to get to that point before you can even start playing that game. And against people who aren't thinking at that level, a lot of times it just doesn't work. um,
Yeah.
I think it's at a point though where it's like if you have to play that way, it's not going to be sustainable. It's not going to be consistent. That's something that you have to pull out of your back pocket in a pinch. Because I don't know. I just think there's
Because like
too much that goes into it to be consistent.
Because, like, like, imagine this, right? Numbers. So, let's take Terra as an example, right? You know,
Mm.
you're fighting somebody. They don't know how to dodge Inverter Dark Matter. You're going to cook them easily. Zero effort. They're going to die. They're going to get hit by that every single time, right? Pretty much every single time, right? So,
Mm.
and then when you fight better players, they're just like, okay, they start counterplaying Inverter Dark Matter, right? They start stepping at you when you try and cast or try and cast four ways, right? And overall they just start counterplaying the heck out of you, right? Imagine having to do that against every player that you fight. That's that it's exhausting to do that, and that's kind of like the issue with like running a deck that makes just hard, consistent outplays. Is that the
Whether the
lower
best start.
the lower of the like the layers, the lower the layer is where you have to get to that point, the more exhausting is going to be, the less consistent your strategy is going to be, because if you're not playing at the top of your game, then you're going to struggle, right? So it's kind of like that. Like, think of decks as in like layers of your game plan. The farther down in the layers, like the less layers that you have before you get to the sheer outplay point, is going to kind of determine the skill floor of your strategy.
Mm. Yeah, I get it. Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's why I'm not quite as big a fan of most of the Japan decks because I think generally they do tend to rely on you being able to consistently enforce those 15 layers deep things, but I feel like they don't do a good enough job generally at getting the layers before that to get to that point,
And do you
where they
think that
require you
might
to
be-
build up to that instead of having as effective of a game plan one.
I do think like definitely for sure. I feel like our perspectives are going to be skewed just because of ping.
That's fair.
But it's like I can because it's like yeah, because it's like that's just like like that kind of like level play might be just normal to them, but it's like they're valuing things at the best, not necessarily the average.
No, I agree with that.
Yeah, because that one I know for sure is like it's the best that matters to them rather than like the average bound.
I think another thing is generally outside of Japan, there's a higher like quantity of that top or near top level player. So while they might be able to get away with doing it, because I think the Kishi Yuki show over there is they tend to just gap most of the community.
Mm, yeah,
And I feel like that's a little harder in outside of Japan when there are more people at least close to that level. Where you're fighting, there's just more people with that high enough level defense to make it so you have to constantly be playing at that kind of level, and it just makes it a lot less reliable.
that's fair. More I hear about this, more I'm thinking of like when we do tier lists, we need to like make character tier lists. We need to like make two different ones. Whereas like one is focused on like how much player input you can possibly put into this character. Whereas like it was like Celsi, Vio, and I think Terra as well. It's at the top. And then like Terrible will be
Terra
like in
makes
middle
sense,
of
yeah.
that. And then on the other hand, we'll have the carried tier list where you put like the characters that do so much without even lifting the first finger. Which where Terrible will be at the top.
Well, the issue is again, it just depends on who you're fighting and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'm more of a fan of North America's deck design. That may be biased, of course, but
I mean, my theory lines up with that too. So
yeah,
I
that's
see.
fair. Well, was there anything else y'all had to go over?
I think.
I think I'm good.
All right.
Well,
Grass
I need to
means
race
dog.
some anime horse girls.
Yeah, I saw you. I saw you hop on. I was.
Yeah,
I
it's
saw on
like-
the corner of my screen. Mickle
Man's
Crom
in his
started
arc
playing
bursting
Ume
around.
Musume Pretty Derby.
I've been watching. That was the anime I was watching too.
I see.
Oh my god, dude. What season are you on?
Season one. Season one.
Season. Okay.
I just got.
can't
Well,
talk
I don't
about
want to spoil anything.
no, I'm not
The
even gonna
chat.
say anything then. But yeah, nice.
Once we stop
discussion.
recording, I can mention it.
Okay. But yes, nice nice discussion with both of you. I hope we get to do this again soon. And
I'm down.
the duels community,
Um,
you guys will be seeing more of me soon. I've been away for a bit.
Is that a threat?
Maybe? I don't know. I guess
Depends
you could
who's
interpret
asking.
that as a threat. You'll be seeing more of me soon, don't worry. I'm coming back to torment you, but I don't know. Maybe I'll try and shake up this meta a little bit.
I
Get
think
back
you
to deck
could.
building.
has
I mean,
there been any
you've done it
mention?
a lot, so
But
Has there
but-
been any mention of like a tournament coming up next week? There's one who's like the modded character.
there's a modded one soon. There's Vortex Gallery, but I don't know if I'm gonna be off work for that.
I don't know either if I'll be off work.
I don't know what Vortex
But
Gallery is.
we'll see.
But I know there's one that features like the character with the scythe.
Yeah, there's a
know.
modded character. Speaking of
Gotcha.
which, Windfall, have you seen that mod?
I've not.
There's a new character that I think Numbers and one of the other newer people in the
Yeah.
community have been working on.
Oh, that's sick.
Yep,
And-
Melody.
They're really trying to push the character, so you should check it out
I
at
mean,
some
like,
point.
Achirada's only just proving just how laughably unplayable Chirata is. Like, she has like a freaking 3-way off angle, and it's fine. It's fine even though it beats Hitstep.
It's a 3-way. She is a 3-way like scythe swipe that auto corrects on hit and puts you 3 in front of her, or puts her 3 in front of you, so it chases hit step. It's very funny,
Oh my goodness.
but it's fine. It's fine now that they removed Mark. Did you remove Mark from it finally?
Yeah, the Hitstep. The
Oh, don't tell
Hitstep's
me you put
finally
Mark on a
gone.
weapon again. Have you
Listen,
learned
listen.
nothing?
Weapon 2 is not insanely pushed in 20 cooldown. It's a little bit higher than that.
We got. I think they got rid of the Mark on the weapon because
I thought we learned this lesson already.
Dude, I tried.
I, I
Mel
feel
really wanted Mark on it, and
I did too. It is like I guess it's just like at that point it's like if you have self mark, it's like you either have to TOD. You just have to TOD at that point. It's just too strong. Like
Mark on a
it's just
weapon
too
should.
damaging.
I think that's one of the key rules of duelists that can never be broken. You cannot put Mark on a weapon.
Yes.
Please.
We
Self mark.
like I said, I thought
Well,
we learned
mark
this
and I
lesson the
detect
hard
when
way
you-
already.
Dude, Windfall. There was a what it was she throws like her scythe out, and it acts as a trap on the ground. It's no hit stun, but if you walk over it, you just get marked,
Yeah, no, that's just like
and it
that's
just sits
just
there.
freaking Hailblade, Hailblade with
Yeah,
frost,
it's
except
Mark
worse.
Hillblade. Except what she can do is she can cast Weapon 2 again to pop it and Hail Slash, and it does Mark again. It's Mad Plus, and it pulls.
Yeah, like considering that like Hailblade with just frost, which you have to stack 3 times, was too strong.
Yeah, that was already disgusting. I
Like, I
remember
can't
fighting
imagine
this stupid
how strong it
sauce.
would be if you got marked off of walking on that.
It was pretty miserable to fight.
It's like that sounds like camping central.
I think I have some gameplay of an older version of it. This probably isn't the broken version though.
Yeah. No, the recent one's much more sane. And also, like when her scythe is up, because obviously she's not holding the scythe anymore. The essentially 3-way off angle switched to like short distance north wind, and that was like broken for a long time. It was only really relevant when the weapon 2 was actually good, actually beyond good. There's a lot. Well, if there's a competition, it'd be nice to potentially like
I'm not
talk
sure if
about
I'd end
that
up
next
using her
time.
if I'm in it. I think it's we can mention that, yeah. I know the character's been interesting. Windfall, I want to see if I can find one of these clips to show you though
Oh, cool.
of this abomination. I think she's in a better place now, but
Definitely.
I would definitely call her a war criminal. She's pretty crazy. Okay. Let
Wait,
me
how
grab
are you?
this one.
Oh, okay.
I just had some saved clips still. I think it's this. Yeah.
Oh
It's
yeah,
this
something
one.
got to mention about the tournament practice. The most amount of practice I had on that gunner was literally 100 games versus P9, and I made it on the same day. That probably is not a very wise decision. I probably should have just added step slash auto slash and
Wait. Is that
done
doing
away with that.
AoE mark damage?
What was that?
Is that AoE
Oh,
mark?
Sure is.
What the heck?
yeah.
No.
Because it was like so much of her kit is just straight up ignored by the players just
Why is it
because
so fast?
she didn't have good anti-camp.
Oh
just
my
because she doesn't-
god.
Back then, just because she didn't have good anti-camp, there was so much that like wasn't properly considered for like balance assessment. So it's like I feel like at a certain point, it's like you have to like push a character like this during testing.
Push her
Otherwise,
to her
Oh
limit.
you
my
will never
cannon
notice
does hit
everything else
stun.
that's good about her.
Oh my Jesus. That looks like a nightmare.
Yeah.
Oh lord. Oh
This one is in her more balanced state too.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, that just seems incredibly oppressive.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. That seems so oppressive.
Well, it just kind of sits there until you detonate it. Well, it eventually self detonates actually and does the same thing. But you can detonate it whenever, and it's very very fast, very strong. Because I'm sure you can see from the clip, it's got very good combo potential.
But I'm not gonna like
Plus marking.
these animations look like very, very good.
Who was it that did it?
Mhm.
It was the same person who did Orobon, right?
Yep. Seawolf, and also I did some of the
Attacks.
attack sprites as well. Not the side. I think the only one I haven't done is the side swing. The other ones are like kind of like reshapes of existing works. It's like it looks really nice. I need to do that for everyone else in the future.
Yeah, but we ended up deciding that she was a little bit excessive. So I think she's in a more healthy place right now. But we just had to get that out there.
But yeah, she looks dope.
She's fun. You should try her.
something to do for
Were
next
you
session.
still recording?
Yes, but we can.
Okay, that's fine.
No,
That's
we can.
good.
We can end it pretty much now.
Cool. GG's gamers.
Yes,
Just thinking,
GG's
like,
gamers.
wait.
Thank you for watching. I'm glad we got to talk a little bit about the mod. Look forward to that. Is there anything else you want to say about that
Oh, yeah.
numbers at all?
Because it's like I was mentioning at the practice, like Gunner, I basically only had 100 games, but also for Terra, well, I mean, it's part of why I think I did really good against Shoal in both Exoduses. Well, why I won, is because we just didn't see each other. I think it changes completely if we see each other more, because doing ESL back in like season 1 is like I won 4 games, and after that I would never won a single time ever again
That's how Shoal does
until
it.
like
If he
until
plays
I
you too
like the
much, you
last
stop
day
being
before
able
I
to
moved
beat
back to
him.
Malaysia, where I like, yeah, it's like the reason why I like managed to even somewhat break even during that time. Is like the day before I went back to Malaysia was because I learned some tactics watching other people play. Like Yuki was playing terrible. It's like I copied some strategies, double dark matter into inverter, a lot of things.
Yuki's so smart. I love watching him play. I hate fighting it.
And then it's like we don't, and then Shoal and I we don't see each other until like Exodus. And the same logic also applies for like fighting against Varya, because I feel like if I knew Varya slightly better, I think like my chat we would have gone to game 5 for sure. We were just so close to it.
He's so good.
I don't know how much practice you guys have too. Is like I know like Mickle probably has the most practice out of any of us by a long shot. And, like, none of us have
Okay.
close.
Let me pull up the duelist stats real quick before we sign off.
Yes.
So if we look at player level and EXP, and just go between the three of us,
I'm definitely
I already know the
lowest.
yeah. You're by far.
I'm like
What
the
is
lowest by
your-
a lot, probably.
Why is it not finding you? Oh, dark dot.
Dueliststats.aurorahost.com, yeah.
Okay,
Thanks,
so
Art.
Windfall. You have
That's good.
1.46 million EXP. 1.46 million EXP. That puts you at rank 19 in terms of player level.
Yep.
Numbers. You have 2.55 million EXP.
I mean, like that's because I've been playing for so long.
That
It
puts
is like
you
it's
at
only until
4
like second
on
half of
player
season 1.
levels. Technically, okay, 18 and 3 if we don't count the Celicy.
Yeah.
No, but numbers. You have 2.55. You're the third highest EXP player, and you're level 902. I just recently hit 4 million EXP, and I'm level 1009.
Wow.
I have too much time in this game. I'm so close. I'm about a quarter of a level away from hitting level 100 on Violet too. Oh, I got my third order as well. Finally, I got Chiretta up to order, making me the first 3 order player.
That almost sounds unfortunate, but at the same time, congratulations on getting the order. At the same time, playing Shredder for that long kind of sounds.
You know who my
painful.
other order was? It was Shiso too. And you saw what they did to him. Poor
Yeah.
guy. Fortunately, my
To
next will be
JP,
terrible.
Shiso
So.
is like not as good as Vio, but fine because he can effectively do similar things.
That's interesting.
I don't
I guess that
really
makes
buy
sense.
that, but it's like yeah. But it's like they play it well enough to prove that.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Well, GG's. We should probably
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
for real
That's
this
actually it
time.
for me.
All right. Yes.
I
For
think
real this time.
I think from
we're
that I got
signing.
everything.
All right, but
Yeah.
it was fun, and we will see you guys in the next episode, in the future, of Dice to Hitstep. See you later.
See you.
Peace.